After studying this module, you shall be able to understand the emergence of the term suicide and its implications for the elderly, learn about the prevalence of suicide in the elderly, identify the factors leading to suicide, learn the difference between committing suicide, attempting suicide, and suicide ideation. Evaluate the different intervention and prevention strategies. The word suicide comes from the Latin word suicidum, from suicidere, which means to kill oneself. There are various terms used in National Institute of Mental Health Center for the studies of suicide. Suicide, fatal self-inflicted destructive act with explicit or inferred intent to die. Suicide attempt, a non-fatal self-inflictive destructive act with explicit or inferred intent to die. Suicidal ideation, thoughts of harming or killing oneself. Suicidality, all suicide-related behaviors and thoughts including completing or attempting suicide, suicidal ideation or communications. For the elderly, the act of ending one's life has a different terminology. Senicide or geronticide is the abandonment to death, suicide or killing of the elderly. Suicidal acts are complex human behaviors involving many aspects of an individual's personality, state of health, and life circumstances. Due to lack of consistent, common nomenclature, classification, and reliable diagnosis, the assessment, treatment, and prevention of suicides is a difficult task. Suicide is a global problem, claiming about 1 million lives annually worldwide. The suicidal behavior in elderly, women, and adolescents are different from the other age groups or middle-aged men. Suicide is more likely to be missed in elderly and children due to their indirect methods of communication regarding the suicide intent. Children are very much affected by the media and suicide epidemics. Women's suicide attempt to completion rate is much higher than elderly, in whom attempt to completion rate is very low. Lethality of methods used by people in India, especially women and elderly, is very high. The risk of suicide, taking one's own life, is a significant factor in all types of depression. Although it is obvious that people also commit suicide for reasons other than depression, the estimates are that about 40 to 60% of those who completed the act do so during a depressive episode or in their recovery phase. Paradoxically, the act often occurs at a point when a person appears to be emerging from deepest phase of depressive attack. Suicide is often committed out of despair, the cause of which is frequently attributed to a mental disorder such as depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder, and alcoholism or drug abuse. Stress factors such as financial difficulties or troubles with interpersonal relationships also often play a role. Warning signs: loss of interest in things or activities that are usually found enjoyable, cutting back social interaction, self-care and grooming, breaking medical regimes such as going off diets, prescriptions, experiencing or expecting a significant personal loss, spouse or other, feeling hopeless and or worthless, putting affairs in order, giving things away or making changes in wills, stockpiling medication or obtaining other lethal means. Other clues are a preoccupation with death or a lack of concern about personal safety. Remarks such as, "This is the last time you will see me," or "I won't need any more appointments," should raise concern. The most significant indicator is an expression of suicidal intent. Views on suicide have been influenced by broad existential themes such as religion, honor, and the meaning of the life. The Abrahamic religion traditionally considered suicide as an offense towards God due to the belief in sanctity of life. During the samurai era in Japan, seppuku was respected as a means of atonement for failure or as a form of protest. Sati, a now outlawed Indian practice, expected the widow to immolate herself on her husband's funeral pyre, either willingly or under pressure from the family and society. Suicide in the elderly. The elderly have a higher risk of completed suicide than any other group worldwide. Suicide in the elderly has not received the right amount of attention that it needs. The prevalence of suicidal ideation is estimated to be as high as 17%, although results from studies vary depending on criteria used. The elderly people are the highest risk group for completed suicide. The World Health Organization estimated rates of 50 per 1 lakh for men over the age of 75, that is 15.8 for women. The male to female ratio is 3 to 4 to 1, similar to other age groups. Several studies have reported that the increase in suicide rates in the elderly is accounted for almost entirely by men and that the risk is particularly high in elderly white men. Considerations specific to suicide in the elderly. The greater likelihood that the elderly will die in or following a suicide attempt. The likelihood of completion of suicide is much more in elderly when compared to other population. The suicide attempt to completion ratio in elderly is 4:1 as compared to younger women, that is 200 to 1. There is greater likelihood of death in or following a suicide attempt in the elderly. In later life, most attempts are considered failed suicides. The reasons for this low attempt to completion ratio are: the elderly are more medically fragile and may live alone and thereby increasing the probability of a fatal outcome. Suicides in older people are often with high intent, long planned and involve highly lethal methods. Suicide methods selected by the elderly are less likely to be affected by short-term modeling effects such as suicide epidemics. Older people are less likely to directly communicate their intent to die. As the elderly are often preoccupied with death and dying, it is more likely to miss the indirect warning that they give. Contrary to common belief, lack of hope and depression are not part of normal aging, not even in the terminally ill elderly. The greater prevalence of indirect self-destructive behaviors, such as poor adherence to treatment regimens in the elderly. Indirect self-destructive behavior like refusal to eat or drink, non-compliance with treatment, extreme self-neglect, with conscious or unconscious intent to die lead to premature death and are common in nursing homes, where the availability of suicide methods is limited and where religion forbids suicide. Osgood found that the rate of completed suicide among elderly nursing home residents to be 15.8 per lakh and the rate of indirect self-destructive behavior to be 79.9 per lakh. Comorbid conditions increase suicide risk. Comorbid conditions like bereavement, depression, chronic physical illness and terminal illness are the concerns in elderly. The effect of spousal loss on suicidality is most pronounced in elderly men. In the United States, the highest suicide rate is among bereaved elderly white men, that is 84 per lakh. In the 60 to 90-year-old age group, the rates of suicide attempts associated with untreated mood disorders increase with each subsequent decade. In elderly, recurrent major depressive disorder is the most strongly associated mental disorder with suicide. Untreated or undertreated pain, anticipatory anxiety regarding the progression of medical illness, fear of dependence and burdening the family lead to suicidal ideation in elderly with medical illness. Suicidal ideation is less without depression in the terminally ill. Adequate management of chronic pain decreases the request to die among cancer patients. Factors leading to suicide in elderly. Factors that affect the risk of suicide include psychiatric disorders, drug misuse, psychological states, cultural, family and social situations, and genetics. Mental illness and substance misuse frequently coexist. Other risk factors include having previously attempted suicide, the ready availability of a means to carry out the act, a family history of suicide, or the presence of injury. For example, suicide rates have been found to be greater in households with firearms than those without them. Socioeconomic problems such as unemployment, poverty, homelessness, and discrimination may trigger suicidal thoughts. About 15 to 40% of people leave a suicide note. Genetics appear to account for between 38% and 55% of suicidal behavior. War veterans have a higher risk of suicide due in part to higher rates of mental illness and physical health problems related to war. Risk factors. Personality factors. Relatively fewer investigators have systematically examined the role of personality in late life suicide. In their study of suicides aged 60 years or more, Harvard et al. In 2001 determined that 16% had personality disorder diagnosis, a figure similar to the 14% prevalence of access to diagnosis found by Henriksson and colleagues among elderly Finnish suicides. When Harvard and co-workers compared their suicide cases with age and sex-matched controls that died in hospital, suicides were significantly more likely to have a personality disorder. Both descriptive studies and more recent controlled research investigations have linked elder suicide with a range of personality traits as well. In an early classical description, Batchelor and Napier in 1953 characterized elders who took their own lives as timid, shy and reclusive, subject to hypochondriasis and hostility, and with a rigid, independent style. Other investigators observed many of those same traits in subsequent studies. Guided by the 5-factor model of personality, Duberstein and colleagues were the first to use validated measures in a case-controlled design to study personality traits of older suicides. They demonstrated that high scores on neuroticism and lower scores on the openness to experience, the OTE, factor of the NEO personality inventory, distinguished suicides over age 50 years from a comparison group of normal community-dwelling adults. People low in OTE may be characterized as having muted affective and hedonic responsiveness, a constricted range of interests, and comfort with the familiar. In addition to their finding concerning personality disorder diagnosis, Harvard and colleagues reported that accentuation of anxious personality traits distinguished elder suicides from controls. Duberstein has hypothesized that these qualities place elders at risk by making them less well equipped socially and psychologically to manage the challenges of aging, especially the need to adapt to changes, example in lifestyle, physical and functional capacity, and living circumstances. Furthermore, seniors low in OTE have smaller social networks and are less likely to experience or express suicidal ideation. Consequently, they are likely to escape detection and life-saving interventions. Additional research is needed in order to establish the relationships of these traits to the depressive conditions so common in older suicide victims and to determine whether they serve as moderators of other putative risk and protective factors present, such as stressful events and social supports. Neurobiology. The concept of suicidal behavior as a distinct neurobiological entity has been investigated over the past few decades in the search to identify potential biological markers. These studies have been undertaken almost exclusively on a younger population, with the elderly receiving scant attention. This may be partially attributable to the inherent and often contradictory data on the effect of aging on central nervous system neurotransmitter systems. The most consistent findings in the biology of suicidal behavior suggest deregulation of the serotonergic system, shown by reductions in brainstem cerebrospinal fluid, 5-hydroxyindole acetic acid, evident on post-mortem studies of suicide victims. Low CSF5, HIAA, and homovenilic acid, HVA, have been reported as having predictive value in determining further suicide attempts after a failed attempt. More recent studies have focused on platelet type 2 serotonin receptor increases being found among suicidal patients, independent of psychiatric diagnosis. Seemingly, only one study has focused on biological markers in the suicidal elderly, finding significantly lower concentration of CSF5, HIAA, and HVA in suicidal patients compared with non-suicidal and normal controls. Social factors. Barraclough in 1971 cites living alone as the most important social variable in suicide. Some studies have found the association to be less significant, but the general conclusion is that social isolation and loneliness are important contributors. One study reports a relative risk for widowed men being over 3 times that of married elderly males. The factor of social isolation, however, may be less important in India. In India, the aged people prefer to live with their children. Sons consider it their duty to look after their aged parents, and joint family is the predominant household form in rural and urban areas, and even in the slums in India. When the elderly do not have family members to care for them, old age homes are their last resort. The joint household is strongest across North India, and it is the weakest in South India. Currently, in urban areas, women have started working outside the home as compared to earlier when women were in the traditional caregiving role for the old people. Though no confirmative data is available, but complete isolation of an elderly is comparatively less in India. At the same time, this traditional joint family system is also under threat, leaving the elderly lonely in the metropolitan cities as well as in the rural areas, where the youth has to leave the home in search of employment and other growth opportunities. Though less so, social isolation is becoming a reality in India as well. Psychiatric illnesses. Psychiatric disorders are consistently associated with suicide. 97% of the elderly suicide victims fulfilled criteria for at least one DSM-4 Axis 1 diagnosis in a study by Wen et al. In 2002. Following psychiatric disorders are commonly associated with elderly suicide. Depression. Various studies report the prevalence of major depression to be between 60 and 90%. Barraclough's study in 1971 reported following predominant symptoms prior to elderly suicide: insomnia in 90% of the cases, weight loss in 75% of the cases, guilt feelings in 50% of the cases, and hypochondriasis in 50% of the cases. Certain medications taken by the elderly may cause symptoms of depression. Antihypertensive, arthritis medication, hormones, steroids are some of the medication commonly prescribed to the elderly which may cause depression as one of the side effects. Inquiries about suicidal ideation and hopelessness do not precipitate suicidal acts and should be assessed in detail. Skoog